Hey guys, it's Justin at the Suave Review, and the summer season has started. I know that because I saw Iron Man 3, which really kicks off the summer season with a bang. It's an extremely hyped movie. I know there's a lot of people loving this, looking forward to it, and it's a movie that's gonna divide people. It's gonna be like Dark Knight Rises. You're either gonna love it or hate it. It's gonna be very mixed. There's no unanimous praise, and I, for the most part, really liked it. It's not as good as Avengers or Iron Man 1. I would say it's a step lower than that, but for the most part, it's better than Iron Man 2, which isn't really saying much, but and it's a strong film. So I'll start out by talking about the plot a little bit, and the plot takes place. There's no specific time, but it takes place sometime after Avengers. And the whole ending of Avengers where Tony Stark, he had to throw the missile into the wormhole, and that has really taken a toll on him. He's had nightmares, doesn't be able to sleep, spends all the time just working on Iron Man suits and not really talking to people, and just trying to protect Pepper Potts, because he's starting to realize that she's really an important person to him. And while this is going on, there's a terrorist named the Mandarin who's blowing up a bunch of places and is becoming a really big threat. And Tony Stark kind of has to stop him because he's the bad guy. Now that's the basic gist. This is really complicated in the movie. The movie's not only, but the movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it feels longer than that because there's a lot of stuff happening in this movie. A lot of stuff. And I guess I'll start out saying what I like. The performances are all great. Robert Downey Jr. still is in great form as Tony Stark. Doesn't seem to be getting tired of the part. He just is giving it his all. It's great. Don Cheadle as Captain Rhodes, War Machine, who becomes Iron Patriot. This one, he gets a lot more to do than Iron Man 2, which I like. So he's good. Everyone else is good, especially Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. He is creepy, intimidating, just especially in those beginning scenes where it's just they're watching videos of him, he's talking to the people. It's creepy. It's actually very serious and very dark. So that he kills it. I like how the trailers make it seem like this really dark, serious Dark Knight Rises-esque movie. It's not. It's actually very funny. A lot of people are saying that it's the funniest of them all. It's extremely funny. I didn't find it that funny as everyone else was saying, but it's still a very funny movie. There's the jokes are constant. Unlike Iron Man 2, where they kind of stop in the middle and have serious moments for a while. This kind of keeps it going, and sometimes it kind of overshadows the dramatic scenes, some dramatic points. Sometimes something dramatic will happen, and they'll have a joke afterwards, kind of what? But for the most part, all the jokes work, and they're hilarious and just great. Some things that people may have a problem with. This is a spoiler-free review. Just starting, I should have said that earlier, but it's completely spoiler-free. But there's some plot twists here and there, and there's one major one that you're either gonna go with it or hate it. Especially if you're a comic book fan. If you're a big comic book fan, you're 99% gonna hate it. Now me, I'm a big comic book guy, but I'm not as huge into Iron Man and stuff like that, so it didn't affect me like that. But it kind of affected me in other ways. I'll mention that me and Sam are gonna do a spoiler-filled discussion where we talk about it. I'll elaborate on that more when we get to that. But I didn't really like that. I mean, it worked as a plot for the movie, but in other ways didn't work. But the movie, actually, Iron Man doesn't appear. It's mostly just Tony Stark for the whole lot of the movie, and it's done very well. It may sound like Iron Man 2, where the whole middle he's not Iron Man doing stuff, but in this the plot's moving forward every time. It's not like Iron Man 2 where he's not Iron Man because they have to develop the 5 plot lines they have going on. It's not like that. The story goes at a constant rate, and yeah, there's not a whole lot of Iron Man, but it works because Tony Stark is such a great character on his own a lot of times you don't have to have him in the costume for the movie to work. You just need to have him there doing stuff. It's really building on some of the stuff that they forgot about in Iron Man 2, where it's like he's a genius and he's really smart at doing this stuff. And they did a lot of that, and I like that. Because in Iron Man 2, you didn't get a whole lot of that. It's kind of just him doing stuff. And some stuff at the end wraps up very quickly, and it's just wrapped up in a really quick epilogue, which kind of is like, what? Wait, huh? You didn't? Okay. It just, that felt a little rushed, and you don't have to, but you don't have to like rush that. There is a post-credit scene, and unlike most of the post-credit scenes for the movies, it doesn't like lead into the next one. It doesn't lead into Thor, which is the next one coming out. It's its own thing, but it's hilarious. Awesome scene. I loved it. Great. Cool scene. So, one of the things that people also might have a problem with is the fact that Iron Man 1 and 2 kind of grounded itself in a reality, kind of, but for the most part, it's kind of realistic. This one, majority of the plot doesn't. It goes for really, like, fantasy, kind of. Not fantasy, but, like, not realistic stuff. And in any other circumstance, it wouldn't have worked, but it works because the movie comes right after Avengers. So you just came from a movie where you have gods and a green rage monster and aliens. And so it works. It works better off that way. The movie's more of a sequel to Avengers than like Iron Man 2. Like if you just watch Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, you're going to be a little bit lost at 3 because you're like, why is he so dramatic? Why is he so... why is he having nightmares? What's going on? Because the events of Avengers affected him. And that's why what's happening to him in this. And so like the plot line, like I'm not going to discuss, I'm not going to get too much into that, but it is a little more comic booky, let's put it that way. It's much more comic booky of a story. And that might like turn people off a little bit, because especially some of the action scenes become comic booky near the end. Especially the climax. It's very comic. You got people like doing almost like Captain America-esque stunts, but they're not Captain America. So, and that felt a little weird, but it was still enjoyable. And there's one action scene in this movie that if you've seen the trailers and some of the Super Bowl TV spot, you'll know what it is, but I'm not going to say exactly. The scene with Air Force One. That's all I'm going to say. Amazing. Seeing that scene, especially in Imax, amazing. That scene is just great. People cheered at the end of that scene. It was great. It was really well done. If you plan to see this movie in 3D, don't. I saw a movie in IMAX 3D, and that's the only way to see it in IMAX. So that's fine to get the whole IMAX experience, which is nice. But the 3D, there was like no 3D at all. I swear to God, it was like the most useless 3D ever. So if you just want to see the movie regularly, don't see it in 3D. Save a couple bucks, see it in regular, because like I said, that 3D did nothing. But if you want to spend more, see it in IMAX 3D, because that's always cool. IMAX is cool. I love IMAX. So overall, I'm surprised actually, one more point, is that the movie might make a pretty good final chapter to the Iron Man movies. I mean, I've heard that Robert Downey Jr. is contracted for one more, and that's going to be Avengers 2. But he might negotiate and try to do 4 or 5. But if he doesn't, Iron Man 3 is actually a perfect finale. Like, the way things tie up, it actually is pretty good. And even the end credits is like a montage of footage from all 3 movies. So it's kind of like, what? Huh? So it actually kind of works as an ending. It wouldn't be, even though at the end credits, right at the end it says Tony Stark will return, it will make a pretty final movie. And one final note, the director of this movie is Shane Black, who, the original director of Iron Man 1 and 2 was Jon Favreau. He also played the character Happy Hogan in the movie, and he reprises that role in 3, but he didn't direct it. It's directed by Shane Black, who he wrote Lethal Weapon, and he's written a lot of stuff. He acted in Predator, but he's only directed like one other movie, and it works. He's a good director. Definitely it feels different than the first 2, but not in a bad way. It doesn't feel off. It just feels a little bit different. His style, it works for the movie, and I think he was a really good choice to take over for Jon Favreau, because I was really skeptical at first when John Favreau wasn't coming back. But Shane Black, he did a great job. Like I said, most of the people in this movie did a great job. Out of 10, I've been debating this one. I don't know, I'm thinking around 8.5 or 9 in that fifth vicinity, so I'm going to go 8.75. It's a little strange, but I have to go with that because I thought it was a really strong movie. Had issues, but like it was still a really good movie. One of the better solo Marvel movies, definitely one of the really good ones. And it was a great possible third final movie for the Iron Man series, and just a great return for Iron Man, for a solo Iron Man movie, because Iron Man 2 wasn't that great. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely, it's a good movie to have a fun time with. Like, it's great fun, funny, not overly serious, and just all around good experience. So also, if you like watch this review and if you want to comment, if you want to write a comment, don't write any spoilers in the comments, please. Because that's how I spoiled the twist for me. Because I watched somebody's perfectly spoiler-free review and went to the comments section, and somebody had a paragraph explaining like the twist. So please don't do that. Save it for the spoiler video that hopefully me and Sam will do maybe early next week or maybe in a few days. I don't know. We'll see. But save your spoiler comments for that, please. Don't want to ruin it for anybody else. But yeah, that's Iron Man 3. Really good movie. And that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later.